Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to dig into a set of materials you shared with us, some articles, notes, all about Cenk Timurlenk. He's a data analytics and business intelligence specialist, right? Based in Antalya, Turkey.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, our goal here is really to unpack these sources. We want to get a handle on his experience, especially in tourism, and sort of pull out the key ideas about his work in digital transformation and using data for making decisions.
Right, like getting a shortcut to understanding how someone actually does this in the real world.
Exactly. A real-world data pioneer's journey, basically.
And what seems really fascinating from this material is the mix. You've got an engineering background, then decades in, like traditional finance roles,
Yeah.
and then deep technical skills, all coming together in BI.
Yeah, that's where it gets interesting.
Definitely.
It really is. So the information we have suggests St. Timurlenk's start was maybe unexpected for where he ended up. He graduated back in '91, geology, geophysics engineering.
Geology. Okay, yeah, that's not the first thing you think of for finance or data analytics today. Does the material say how that early training, influenced him?
It seems it was pretty foundational. The sources stress that this engineering background gave him a really crucial base. Things like numerical analysis, thinking systematically, handling complex data.
Right, the core analytical skills.
Exactly. That ability to look at something complex, break it down numerically, spot patterns, super transferable, vital for data analysis, whatever the field.
Okay, makes sense. It built that analytical muscle. So how did he get from geophysics into hotels and finance? That seems like quite a leap.
Well, his career path then took a pretty major turn into hospitality, specifically finance and reporting. The material points to a really long stint over 2 decades, actually from April '94 to July 2014 at Barut Hotels.
Wow, over 20 years at just one hotel group.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And in key roles too, right? Budget, audit, reporting manager. What was he actually doing there for all that time? What did the sources say about his impact?
During those years at Barut, the notes mention him developing quite a few innovative applications across different areas within the hotels. So it wasn't just like standard reporting. It involved financial analysis, performance measurement, and crucially, setting up data-based decision mechanisms. Okay. So he was already building the systems for using data better, even back then, within that traditional finance structure.
Seems like it. Essentially laying the groundwork for data-driven approaches. Probably building custom tools or processes to get more insight, before buy was the common buzzword.
Right. Not just pushing out reports, but changing how decisions were made using data, pushing the boundaries of the traditional role. And he stayed in the hotel sector after Barut.
He did. Moved to Trendy Hotels, similar role again, budget, reporting, audit manager. That was from late 2015 to early 2022.
Another solid chunk of time, over 6 years.
Yep. And here, the sources specifically point to him leading projects. Projects aimed at boosting the digitalization of their reporting and auditing. Okay, so that's a clear shift. From innovating within the system to actively leading the digital transformation of those systems.
Exactly. A real evolution.
So what's his focus now, according to the material?
He's still based in Antalya, still working with large hotel groups, Papillon Hotels as mentioned. Now, the focus is squarely on developing professional Power BI reporting and analysis systems, providing custom data analytics solutions. And the material hints it might not just be tourism now, but potentially other sectors needing similar insights.
Power BI, yeah, that's everywhere in modern BI. It sounds like he's really combining that decades-long industry knowledge with these cutting-edge tools now.
Precisely. The sources really emphasize the direct impact on hotel operations, helping increase efficiency, letting managers make strategic calls using real-time data dashboards. It shows the real, tangible value.
Bringing serious data analysis to complex businesses like hotels.
Definitely.
And looking at the tech side the sources mention, his toolkit sounds huge. It's way more than just Power BI, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is. The list is pretty extensive. Shows he understands the whole data pipeline, really. Beyond Power BI, you've got other big BI platforms, ClickView, ClickSense, Tableau. The tools for turning data into those interactive visuals.
Got it. The front-end stuff people see. But what about actually getting the data ready?
That's where his SQL skills come in. T-SQL, PostgreSQL, MySQL, MS SQL, all mentioned. SQL is, the standard language for talking to databases, pulling out the data, filtering it, manipulating it before it even hits the BI tool.
Right, you need to know how to get the right data first. Fundamental. The material also lists older tools, though. Crystal Reports, Excel, VBA.
Yes, and that's quite telling, I think. It shows the depth of his experience over time. Crystal Reports was a workhorse for enterprise reporting for ages, And Excel with VBA, well, that's how a lot of complex financial reporting used to get done, often manually or semi-automated.
So having those skills alongside the modern ones shows his whole journey, basically. He can work with different systems, old and new.
Exactly. He's evolved his toolkit.
And it goes even deeper. It mentions actual programming languages, C, Sharp.net, Flutter, Angular, React, Vue.js. That seems intense for a BI specialist. Why?
Yeah, this is a really key point the sources bring out, maybe implicitly. Being proficient in those suggests he could do way more than just use the standard BI software. It means he could potentially build custom data solutions, integrate different systems, develop specific apps for data collection or reporting, maybe even touch the underlying software infrastructure.
Wow. Okay, so not just a BI user, but someone who could build the whole data system if needed.
Potentially, yeah. It shows he operates at multiple levels, not just making dashboards.
That really paints a different picture. And the material also covers things like data warehousing, modeling, business process management, KPIs.
Absolutely, that's the foundation work. Knowing about relational data structures, performance tuning, data warehouse design, that means understanding how to build the back-end systems properly. So data is reliable and efficient for analysis. And BPM, KPIs, it's tying it all back to the business. What processes matter? What are the key things we need to measure?
So he connects the tech infrastructure, the specific tools, and the actual business needs, that full stack view.
You got it. That's the blend. The analytical engineering mind. Decades of specific industry knowledge from finance and operations, plus this incredibly broad and deep technical skill set. That's what the sources describe as making him, one of the most successful examples in Turkey of shifting from old school reporting to being truly data managed.
A pioneer in digitalizing the Turkish hotel sector, bridging those worlds.
That's how he's presented, yeah.
So it's not just about having the latest software, it's having the business context and the foundational knowledge to actually use it effectively. The sources mention his view on BI is more than just tech, right?
They do. He apparently sees it as a visionary tool, something that actually creates competitive advantage. By combining his deep hotel industry understanding with his tech skills, he's positioned to build analytical systems that don't just report numbers, but actually enable strategy, drive improvements, help businesses see trends faster, understand what's driving performance, and react.
Okay, right. Let's quickly unpack what we've really learned here from these sources about Cenk Timurlenk's journey.
Sure. We've seen how that engineering start built a vital analytical base. Then those two decades plus in hotel finance and reporting roles, budget, audit manager, gave him incredibly deep sector knowledge. And how he's combined all that with this really impressive technical toolkit, modern BI, databases, even software development.
Yeah, and his work, as it's described, seems to directly drive efficiency and enable better, faster strategic decisions for major hotel groups there. He really comes across as a key figure in the digital shift within the Turkish hotel industry, a pioneer.
Definitely. His story, as we've pieced it together from this material, is a powerful example of how quite different backgrounds can merge really effectively in data analytics and BI. It shows how someone can lead organizations away from just traditional reports towards being genuinely data-driven, getting that competitive edge through insight.
And I think this whole journey brings up a really interesting question for you listening. If this specific mix fundamental analysis skills, deep hands-on industry experience, and a broad evolving tech toolkit can drive this kind of transformation in a field like hotels, how might your own unique blend of skills, your background, your experience, how could that unlock unexpected opportunities or maybe drive transformation in your own field or areas you're interested in? Something to think about.